Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Asset Ambitions podcast. I'm your host, Mathieu Jacques. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest. His name is Martin Clement. He is a realtor of over 15 years of experience here in the Ottawa region. He is now with the big organization, which we call EXP1. We are at this office right now in Ottawa. We are over 100 agents in this organization here with EXP Realty, but he has humble beginnings as well. So we'll go over his origin story. We'll talk about the Ottawa real estate market, and then we'll go to a lightning round of very interesting questions. So watch the episode. Thank you for watching. Martin, thank you for coming on.
You're pretty good at the intros.
You think so?
I think so.
Yeah.
I struggle when I do podcasting. The intros I find kind of awkward, and because it's kind of awkward, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You're talking to no one.
That's it. No, it's just a camera, so it's not natural at all. But it's the 19th episode, so I had
Yeah.
19 tries to it. So
The outro are even worse.
yes,
You don't know when to cut off.
yeah. How
It's
do you
like-
tie it?
I'm always like, my dismounts are always super awkward. I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's.
Thank you for watching.
Okay, see you next time. So yeah, but no, congratulations on first off a great start to your career. You're a few years in. I know you've been busy, but you've been putting in the work, and also congrats on using the studio. You mentioned that there's a few agents in the brokerage now, and this is an option that's offered to them to use the studio, and you're one of the few that has really taken advantage of it and
Yes.
ran with it. You're consistent with it, so you're the model, right?
That's it.
You're
That's
the
it.
model,
That's
like,
what I strive to be. I want to be a leader.
Yeah.
I want to be a leader.
Look at
I
Mathieu,
just need
look at what he's
to
doing.
build it up and do proof of work, right?
Yeah,
I
man.
need to prove that it works. But right now, it gives a lot of social media content. It
course.
does for marketing.
Yeah.
You come here, you record an episode. It takes an hour to record, a couple of editing clips, editing after the podcast, and then we're off, right?
Yeah,
So it really helps the business grow.
I really enjoyed podcasting. Like I started my first one in 2017. It wasn't about real estate. It was just about drinking beer, hanging out with friends.
That's it.
But it was fun, That's why I started. It was just to hang out with buddies and have conversations. And we built it up to 82 episodes. And then when we started to have these studios pop up everywhere, I completely stopped podcasting.
Really?
Yeah.
Because we got a really nice setup and it's
Yeah,
at our office.
I know, but I've just been so busy.
No, that's it.
That was a great run. Podcasting is a great way to get your message out
Oh,
there.
yeah. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
we weren't talking about real estate, but we would get lots of real estate clients from it because it was more like a social hangout.
Okay.
And then not every episode, but once in a while we drop a hint. Hey, we're also real estate agents.
There we go.
So if you're in the Ottawa area, let us know.
yeah.
And then
Get
we
in
got
touch with us.
we got a bunch of leads from that.
Very interesting.
And whenever we did get to the listing appointment or to the buyer consultation, people felt like they knew us already. And,
That's it.
And they did because they'd spent hours hanging out with us, while we're drinking beer with our friends.
That's it. They see how you talk. They see how good you're at expressing thoughts
Yeah.
and whatnot. And with the podcast, we always talk about the real estate market and everything. So it
Yeah.
shows if I know the market, you'll see it on
Right
camera
on.
here.
And you had some great guests,
Yes.
a few politicians.
Very much so.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that.
yeah.
A few lawyers.
Yes.
Which one was your favorite?
That's a very good question. I think I really liked getting Aladdin Jabri from the longevity. They had came for a presentation here at the office, and he speaks about how to optimize taxes and all, but he's very diversified across many assets. We had such a good conversation about investments, where to
Yeah.
place your money, how to maximize taxes. I have some calls with him sometimes during the last few months here. I had some calls with him to organize myself with my structure of my
What's
business.
his main thing? Is he more
Well, he's a
Real
certified
estate?
financial planner, and he's also very heavy into real estate.
Yeah.
But he gives services and also sells insurance. So
Okay.
that's the big income that he makes there.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Very
There's so
interesting guest
much
to
to
get on.
learn out there.
Yes, yes.
You know.
Well, listen, we want to learn about
Yeah.
you.
Okay. I'm
And you
used to.
mentioned, you had started with the podcast and you had a real estate career. I guess it must have been a bit slower back then, but now you don't even have time for it. So that's
Yeah.
a good sign. You must
Yeah.
be very busy.
Yeah.
So we have a lot to absorb from
Yeah.
you. You having 15 years of experience. Can you go back and tell us
Sure.
a bit of your backstory, how you started?
Yeah, I've always been an entrepreneur. I'm the kid that, I was lucky enough to get all the toys when I was young and, all the cool stuff. And my parents had bought me a nice collection of Nintendo games. So me and my brother, we cataloged all of our games and we would rent it out to our colleagues at school. So they'd rent a game for $2 a week from us, which we would outcompete the local dépanneur with
Yeah,
like
yeah.
$3 because they were $5 or whatever. So we got that really drilled into us from a young age. It's like, hey, you can go and make your own money. And by the time I was 17, my parents gave me a choice. They said, we can buy you a car or we could buy you a chip truck. And I decided to go and take the chip truck. So they equipped me with a chip truck. They really gave me a helping hand to get started. And then from 17 till 20, I was operating my own little restaurant. It was great. It paid for all of my college, all that stuff. Love working in the kitchen. And I actually applied at Cordon Bleu to become a chef. And then this one guy, my uncle, would come to my restaurant and he was driving a brand new Chrysler 300. And my uncle Bert, a really cool guy, and he was in real estate. And I was like, man, that's cool. Like, you're making a bit of money, and you seem like you're really enjoying life. So he got me sort of introduced to like, okay, this is how you're going to get your license, blah, blah, blah. And I also looked at culinary chefs, what their average income was. And to start off as a chef, you're not making that much money. Yes, there's potential to make a lot of money, but I decided to go into real estate because I saw the future being a bit more predictable. You're not at the mercy of what's going on in your restaurant. You're really going out there and you're prospecting. So I called a for sale sign for something I wanted to buy, and I ended up meeting with Michel Brissette and Jean Richer. So those were my two first real mentors in real estate. They owned a brokerage called Akira Realty. And I started at the bottom. I was a receptionist while I was still in real estate school. Worked my way up to doing admin work for them and then buyer agent work. And it was a tough go at the start. Like I didn't sell anything for like the first 6 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Jean gave me this 24 disc set. It was like CDs that you would put into your car. Do you have a CD player in your car now?
Not anymore.
No.
No.
Anyways, so back then, it was CDs.
Yeah.
And it was Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry's dad. You know Tom Ferry?
Yes.
The
I think
real
they're
estate
big.
coach?
Real estate
So Mike
leaders.
Ferry was a real estate coach, and he was talking about door knocking, and I wasn't selling anything. So I went out and I started door knocking. And the first time I went out to knock on doors, I drove up to the street I wanted to knock on. It was Falcon Crest Crescent in New Orleans. And I looked at that first door and I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to chill in my car here for a bit because I'm a bit afraid of what's on the other side of that door.
Yes.
And I whipped out my Palm Pilot. It was like the first generation of smartphones. And I played Bejeweled on my phone. I was like, I'm just going to play a little game of Bejeweled and then I'll go to the door after. I ended up playing Bejeweled probably for 45 minutes, an hour. I looked at the door and I was like, no, I'm going back to the office. And I went back to the office. I felt defeated. I was, very upset with myself. I'm like, man, like, what are you going to do with your life if you're not, willing to face your fears?
Yeah.
So sort of felt sorry for myself. But the very next day, I went back. I parked my car in the same spot. Did not pull out my phone to play some video games. I just started knocking on doors. First door, nobody answers. Second door, what are you doing here, kid? Like, just we're not interested. Get away.
It's very humbling to do
Yeah.
door knocking. That's how I started as well.
Yes.
It was with open houses, and I would do door knocking, about 50 doors on 25 on each side of the road, trying to let the neighbors know, hey, I'm hosting an open house. Come see what a house might be worth in your neighborhood, on your street. But it's very humbling, and
It
to
is.
get to crack that shell, that's where you gotta get to, because if not, it's hard to grow.
So I just continued, and by the sixth door, I knock on the door, and this cute lady answers, mid-50s, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Martin Clement with Acura Realty. We have a listing down the road my brokerage has, and we're looking for an ex-client. Have you thought about selling?" And she's like, "Oh, hold on, I'm going to get my husband." I'm like, "Oh boy, here we go. I'm going to get yelled at, and I'm a bad person for door knocking." And the husband comes back to the door, and he's like, "How did you know we were talking about selling our property?" They were having a conversation, I guess, around that time. And we actually need an agent like right now. So ended up listing the house, had an open house, sold it like 5 days later.
Wow,
And then I was like, okay, yeah,
it's doable.
there's one difference between the Marty that didn't door knock and the one that did. And the only difference is that he got into action, right? I was still afraid of doing it. I was still sort of awkward at doing it. But the guy that sat in his car didn't do anything. He didn't get into action. And the guy that did got into action. So nothing for the first 6 months. But then the next following 12 months, I did 47 deals.
Wow.
Just because of that mental switch, It's like you got to go out there and you got to go try things.
That's it. When you're in the groove, that's where you really start compounding.
And if you don't try, you won't know. And, I speak with agents that have a lot of success and they're out there, they're trying things. And I speak with some agents that are looking to find that groove. And it's like, have you tried things? I've tried everything. It's like, no, okay, what have you tried? And they're like, well, I posted on my Facebook wall and I spoke with my uncle that's a real estate investor and like nobody wants to deal. Okay, you've done two things. I mean,
Yeah.
there's 150 ways to generate well, there's more than that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time before you put the finger on the one that's right for you as well.
Yeah,
The one
and
that you don't dread doing and that you're actually you want to wake up in the morning to do.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, door knocking might not be the one for you. And it worked out for me. Like once I got into the groove, I'm like, okay, I would have a sheet of paper and I would have 100 little boxes on it. And I told myself, for every 99 no that I'm going to get, there's a yes in there somewhere. So I got into the groove of door knocking on 100 doors, on a period of 2 days. I would try to get through the list as quickly as possible. And I found a bunch of listing opportunities that way. And that worked out for me. And then once you start to get a bit of momentum, if you don't like the door knocking, you can stop doing it because you've got other opportunities coming in. And as long as you're doing a good job of, giving a good service, you'll start to get repeat business, referral business, which is probably 95% of my business these days.
That's it.
It's
It's really built up. You got a really good solid foundation.
Yeah.
It's building that foundation that takes a lot of honing and
Yeah.
craft but now that you do have that foundation, you have your referral base,
Yes.
it's going well. It is still quite a volatile business to be in, industry to
course.
be in, because
Of
it's
course.
dependent on the market.
It is.
So I noticed that you're someone that's very diversified.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us about a little bit where that sparked? Where is there a certain deal or a certain time in your career that you were like, okay, I need to diversify myself across different industries here?
I think that the main driving factor is, you said it, like real estate is very cyclical. And some months you could be making a lot of money, and then the next month you're not making any money. And when you're not making any money in real estate, you're actually losing money because you need to pay for your license.
There's a lot of expenses.
There's a
for
lot
sure.
of expenses,
Yeah.
right? And I was looking for other ways to sort of stabilize the boat, stabilize the ride. So, I continued with my career at Acura Realty, Keller Williams, and then Remax. And when I was at Remax, my last year, 2016, I think we had sold 223 homes, more or less. And it was a massive year, back then, doing over $1 million in GCI. I went to see the owners of the company and I said, hey, I'd love to buy a piece of the brokerage at some point, that would be something that would interest me.
Really?
And the boys, they were always super welcoming. They were they liked having agents like me at the office because we were very productive. But they said, no, unfortunately, we're full at the ownership table. And that sort of got me thinking, okay, what can I start that would fix that problem? And then there was this little company, EXP Realty. They were saying, if you come work with us, you have the right to be an owner. We'll give you stock in the company whenever you close a transaction. If you wish to buy more stocks in the company, we'll actually give you an incentive to buy some. Are you familiar with the equity program?
Yeah, for sure. Yes.
So if you buy stocks, they'll give you like a 10% discount.
That's it.
And that way you're making 10% on your money, which is
Yeah.
a great
As
investment.
soon as you buy it, yeah.
As soon as
yeah.
you buy it, you're making 10%. And that sort of excited me, not only for myself, but then I said, okay, if I grow this company, EXP Realty, and we end up having, 5 or 6 agents that join us, they'll be excited because they can also be owners of the company.
That's it.
And
And if
then-
you're an early mover into that, you can really snowball and actually be a part of the organization.
Yes.
Which must have added meaning, really, because
Yeah,
you
because-
actually had skin in the game.
Because I didn't want to grow a brokerage like a Royal LePage or a Remax, and those companies are great, by the way. I'm not. They have some very successful agents, but they'll end up having superstars inside their brokerage, and then the brokers want to become owners, and then they have a tough decision to make. It's like, am I going to split from this specific Remax to go start my own brokerage? Or am I just going to be okay just being a real estate agent my entire career,
That's it.
But all you guys at EXP, you have the opportunity to build your own thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's amazing.
You could recruit. So it was just Chris Charon, my best friend and business partner since we're 12 years old. We started the EXP branch here in Ottawa. There was already Steve Gabellini that was here, but I believe we're agent number 9 and 10 in Ontario.
Okay.
Chris and myself. And it was just us sitting on my couch at Lansdowne. And I would get calls from big players in the real estate world here in Ottawa. They're like, Marty, what the hell are you doing? Like, what are you leaving Remax and you're starting? Like, what's this? Like, we never heard of this company. We never heard of this company.
Yeah.
And it was just me and Chris for myself. We were having a blast. We knew that we were up against a tough road. And then I got a call from Youssef Awada and Kevin Feely. They were partners at the time, and they joined us. And Kevin and Youssef and Justin Salazar and also Hadi Awada, they joined us right from the beginning. And then it was just the 6 of us for a long time. And then it started growing and growing and growing. And this year alone, we've added 32 agents
There we go.
to the roster.
We're seeing it compound quite a lot right
Yes, and congratulations to everybody that's at our brokerage. We're closing in on $1 billion in volume. Yeah,
now. Wow.
yeah. So I think we're up to 1,600 transactions. I should probably pull up numbers if I'm going to talk numbers. I've got it right here. But yeah, we're closing in on the $1 billion mark. We probably won't hit it this year, but next year we're going to hit the $1 billion mark.
Wow. And so that's just in 1 year, 1 billion of
Real
gross
estate.
coming. Oh, okay. Of real estate sold.
Real estate sold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So to date, we're up to 1,748.
It must have been nothing when
Yeah.
you started.
Oh,
It
I mean,
must
it was
have
just
been
Chris and
nothing.
myself, right?
That's it. Exactly. It's a very big organization. I'm glad to be a part of the organization today.
Well, of course, we love having agents like you. Like, I mean, you're putting in the work, and yeah, I won't find the number
That's
quick like
all
that,
good.
but 1,700 transactions, and our agents
That's very
are
impressive.
producing on an average 15 transactions per year. So if you look at the 119 agents that are with us, on average, they're doing 15 deals per agent. We've got a lot of guys that are doing 50, 60 deals plus.
That's it. It averages out.
But
There's
the
some that are doing
average,
less.
we're out competing the board 3-1. So the average agent in Ottawa is probably doing 5 to 6 deals. We're doing 15, probably 16 by the end of the year because there's still closings happening this
That's
week.
it. Yeah.
We're getting into late December here.
There's got to be some people that do it part time and they're still in the stats. It has
Yeah.
to be.
So we've got we've got some big opportunities inside the brokerage right now because there's a lot of new agents, and it's our job to surround them, with guys like yourself and myself and people that have done deals before, and to help them out and to bring him to the next level.
Yes.
Because I find that the more agents in your office that are winning, the more opportunities will come your way, right? Like we worked on a file a few weeks ago on Le Pin rentals, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
That's
okay,
a very big opportunity for sure.
we got this rental contract. This builder wants us to rent out, their units, and I can't tackle it alone. So I need help from guys like Mathieu, like yourself. Lucas is on the project, and we're tackling these bigger files together.
That's it.
And everybody's winning, man.
Yeah.
It's like we're just sitting around the table, just giving each other high fives, and it's like, let's make it grow together. Right?
Yes, sir. That's it. And
One of
people
my-
will come to us because we do have the manpower to be able to confront all those
Of
big
course.
challenges and help people with.
One of my mentors once told me that there's two types of business people in this world. One type is the guy that sits around the table and tries to take as much business as he can for himself. And the other type of business owner is the guy that sits around a table with many cooperating people, and they just try to make the business grow as much as possible. You're better off owning a 2% share of $1 billion company than you are to own 100% of a $50,000 company, right?
Yes.
So that's what it.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. That's it. Camaraderie like this, I love it. This office is very dynamic, and now you've just opened also an office in Rockland.
Yeah.
We have one in Limoges. We have one in Vankleek Hill. Like our horizons are just ever expanding as a big group, and it really acts as a family almost. Like everyone is very positive every time we come here. If someone is negative, we really try to boost them back up. Like it's just it's a ever expanding circle.
I think that the will to learn is probably the number one asset that an agent can have, right? So be that positive person.
Yes.
I've been accused of being an eternal optimist. People say, "Oh, you always see things in a rose-colored glasses," and guilty. Yeah, sometimes I might be a bit too positive, but I look at the opposite side of the coin. Somebody who's negative and thinks that nothing will work, they won't get out of bed. They won't try it. They'll say, well, I've been at this government job and that's the only way I've ever made money, so I'm not going to go venture anything else. I look at opportunities. I'm like, yeah, I'll try that. And then sometimes I do fall flat on my face, and it happens. But I mean, you have to go out and try something.
For sure. That's what it is to be an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
We try things, trial and error, right? It's if you don't take any risk, it's going to be hard to find that reward.
Exactly.
If you do take many risks, try many things, you'll fall on the right thing that sticks, and you'll stick with it yourself, and it'll really compound.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. But now the next chapter is probably expanding into other market centers.
Okay.
We do have some agents in Calgary, in Alberta, some in Nova Scotia. But
maybe we could look into Gatineau as well, right? That's very close by. It's right across the border there.
That's low-hanging fruit, right?
Yeah.
And it's a big opportunity for anybody from the Gatineau side that's going to join our brokerage.
For sure.
Because, like I said, 1,700 transactions. I see referrals going over to the Gatineau side, and they're sent a bit to this guy and a bit to this girl, and a bit to that person.
We should really hone in on to someone that
if somebody
really could help grow.
If somebody's doing 12 to 24 transactions on the Gatineau side and they're looking for that next step to their career, come talk with us. Like, we'll make your business grow with referrals. And then we're like 10 minutes away from the bridge here.
Yes.
Come to the office. Come hang out with the agents.
That's it.
You're going to become like the preferred... let me shut this thing off. Was that me or was that you?
That was you.
That was me. Sorry about that.
We're a lot of French people at this office as well, so that's where we're going to be able to actually build a really good relationship with them as well. Of course,
yes.
You'll feel very welcome.
Big opportunity for any Gatineau agent that wants to join us, our Montreal agents, and then we can start to expand into the Quebec market.
That's it.
Yeah.
Welcome to Asset Ambitions, where we ignite your path to freedom with assets and opportunities. With the Asset Ambitions Group, we bring a digital-first approach for buyers, sellers, renters, whether that's residential or commercial, to make you succeed in the real estate world. With the Asset Ambitions podcast, we dive into expert real estate insights, asset building, entrepreneurial insights, and delivering strategies to elevate your future. Subscribe and follow for more tips, stories, or expert insights. Welcome to Asset Ambitions. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the Ottawa market itself. Where do you see the market at the moment?
Well, I always used to say that Ottawa was the underpriced market of Canada. Our affordability index was sitting at 3, while other major cities were sitting at 9 or 10. Affordability index, for people that don't know, that's the average salary income for a household. And then you take the average price of the home in that market.
Okay.
Take the average price of the home and you divide it by the average household income. So if somebody were to put all of their income into their property, they would be able to pay off their house within 3 years.
Okay.
So there was 2 very affordable cities in Canada, Quebec City and Ottawa, but that's no longer the case. Right? Our affordability index is closer to 6 or 7 right now. And I think that it's probably going to stabilize over the next few years. That's my gut feeling. Toronto and Vancouver right now are really, really hurting. I was looking at condo prices in Toronto and the GTA, and some people are saying it's down like 30%.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And the bad thing about living in Canada, if you're not living in Toronto or Vancouver, is that policies are made to protect those markets. But the good thing about living in Canada is that the policies are made to protect those markets. So I mean, if the prices keep on going down in Toronto and in Vancouver, then the government's probably going to react. They're probably going to adjust the interest rate.
That's it.
And
they'll have to do a correction.
They're going to have to do a correction, right?
Yeah.
They're talking about reducing rates again next year.
Is that in January, I think, the first announcement?
So I think there's an announcement every 6 weeks at the Bank of Canada.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to a lot of, economists, and they're saying that they're probably going to be having another drop.
Yeah, that's what you could foresee, I guess.
Probably a new 2 to 3 other drops next year.
Okay. I think the last inflation announcement was 1.9%, which is under the target of 2%. So I guess that's pretty much at the time they start ticking down. I think the states also are foreshadowing to start ticking down as well. We've been as well.
Well, the president is putting a lot of pressure on the Federal Reserve.
Yes.
But unfortunately for the president, he doesn't control what the Federal Reserve does.
That's it. Exactly. Right? He wishes he could.
And our prime minister, he used to be the director of the Bank of Canada. So, I don't know what type of influence he has there. Mm-hmm. But those political leaders, they have every advantage to making your economy boom, right? If they want to stay in power.
Yeah.
So
they want to look good.
They want to look good, right? So we'll see. We'll see what the market holds for us. But young families, man, they're struggling.
Yes, it's not very easy. I have a lot of first-time home buyers in my contacts.
Yeah.
They want to buy, but it's not attainable. It's simply not attainable. And what is the hardest is piling for that down.
Yes.
It's having money loose from your paycheck. That's the hardest time right now. The grocery prices, the prices of just average day living, just the gas as well, the car expenses, and anything. The expenses are very, very high that it's hard to pile for that down. There's a lot of ways that you can, if you invest in your RSP, you can pull some money out of there and get some money for the down. Or there's also the first-time home buyer savings account that you can invest into. But even then, how do you get the money to invest into those accounts? And if you pull out the money from those accounts, then you'll have to reinvest it within 15 years. So you should be able to make it happen. But
I used that to buy my first property.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that should take advantage of those incentives for sure.
There's a cool idea that I have, and it was brought to my attention by one of my mentors, Brian Buffini, and he's encouraging agents. He's a real estate coach in California, and he coaches I don't know how many thousand agents throughout North America. He's encouraging agents to host seminars on how to help baby boomers fund their kids or their grandkids' purchases, right? Because there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of equity in their properties, and they might be 65 plus, 70 years old, but they want to help their children and grandchildren buy. It doesn't need to be a gift. It could be some sort of loan, low interest loan. Here you go, kid. Here's the down payment for your property. You still owe it back, right? But there's ways to finance it.
Yes.
And I think that if more baby boomers, grandparents are educated on how to make that happen, make it make sense for them, give their kids a helping hand, I think there's probably a lot of people that would be able to help their children and grandchildren buy.
For sure. I feel like a lot of the wealth is in the hands of the baby boomers and the people that actually are sitting on property at the moment. And some people just don't want to liquidate it. They're comfortable. They're in their golden years. It's, it's all paid off. And that's totally reasonable thinking. But yes, a helping hand like that, it can be seen as an investment as well, depending on the interest rate. At least you can have the interest rate be a bit higher than what the inflation is and feel comfortable with lending money to it's still your bloodline, right? So you want to help them acquire wealth and build real estate.
Because if you bought a house in 1985 and you bought it for $150 and today it's worth $950 and you've got no mortgage on it, I mean, you've got a lot of equity there. And if you're looking to help a family member, you could pull out a home equity line of credit, pay, 6 or 7% on it. You could offer it to your grandchildren or children at the same rate that you're paying for it, or you could mark it up, or you could mark it down. You could say, I'm going to help you pay this. Every month you owe me $600. I'll pay the difference, or whatever. That's the decision to the family.
Tons of agreements. Yeah, that's interesting to do seminars like that.
Yeah, I think that's something that would probably have a lot of attention.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And if we could do that under in-person meetings in the office, which is what the older generations like, I think we'd probably have a lot of people coming to those seminars.
Totally agree.
Yeah, but that's on my 2026 to-do list.
Well, we'll keep in touch about that. I'd like to help you put that in place for sure.
And even if you were to do like an online webinar, you might get people from all across the country.
Yes. Yeah.
And then
because online it kind of detaches our time and we can send it in mass, but in person I feel like you said, those generations like to deal more in person and it's more personable, right? It's face to face and you can actually shake hands and actually guide hand in hand rather than
we'll break down the numbers for your specific deal. We'll sit down, we'll take 45 minutes, we'll go through all the numbers with you, and does it make sense for your family?
Let's make it happen in 2026.
I think that's a big opportunity.
Yes. There's a lot of people that are going to be looking at liquidating their properties as well, and there might be some opportunities coming out of it. And if we could get perhaps a mortgage broker that could also assist, that could help to gather information on how, or explain how to do HELOCs and stuff like that. And
because I've got some young kids that are 23, 24. I say I've got my clients. my children are way younger than that. But they've got the income. They're making $70,000 each. They've got $140, but their down payment is limiting them to a $400,000 purchase.
Yeah.
And you know what it's like.
That's hard to find.
It's hard to find.
You're going to have to go far east.
You're going to go far
east. It's going to be a
east.
place that you got to be ready to reinvest in.
Yeah.
So it's not made for everyone.
Those places always get me excited because you can buy that and then you can add value to it, right?
Yes.
Like if the property, I don't know, it's got some old windows and an old roof. It's like, okay, well, you've got opportunities to bring it back up. And then 2-3 years down the road, you can sell it for a nice profit.
That's it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, sir.
And on that note, this year I've helped a few young first-time home buyers buy properties, and they're really looking towards the multi-res, which is very, very smart.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. It really helps.
So they're looking
and if you're moving into it, you can just put 5% down.
Yes.
So that's
your primary residence, and then if you have a duplex, you can rent out the basement, triplex, fourplex. If you get into 5 units or more, then you start to be a commercial buyer, and then you need 20% down. But 4 units and below, that seems to be the move right now.
Yes. It really helps.
And then you never need to sell it. If you can hang on to it, bonus.
That's it. Right. You're able to, refinance, buy the next property, move a tenant inside the unit that you were living in, and
Yeah.
if everything works out, you're sitting on a great chunk of property in
And
the capital of
it's gonna
Canada.
give you some net income to buy your next place, to float your next mortgage,
That's it.
right? So, but I always advise people to be cautious with over leveraging themselves. As an investor, I try to not to go to the 80% that's available, because we never know what the market will do.
Yes.
I'm optimistic, but you know who Patrick Bet-David is?
Yes.
He's a podcaster.
Yeah.
He says that only the optimists thrive, but only the pessimists survive. Meaning that, you sort of have to strike a balance there. You want to be optimistic, do things, but you also want to look out for pitfalls.
For sure, for sure. Leverage, playing with leverage is iffy for
Yeah.
sure.
I
You gotta
probably
really be sure of your shot.
I probably butchered that quote, but that's the sentiment.
No, it does. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense for sure.
Yeah.
Exactly. You gotta be willing to take on risk, but calculated risk.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
of course.
So let's move on to third segment of the podcast, where the real money.
How we
is.
doing on time? I don't want to.
It's been going for 35 minutes.
35 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we've got an hour.
That's
I'm free to go later, but I think there's another client coming in.
Yeah,
podcast,
that's it.
so-
Exactly. So,
Okay, I'll try to be a bit quicker with the answers.
so where do you see the commercial market at the moment? Let's talk about where the money is.
Okay, what do you mean?
Well, the commercial market, the commercial scene in 2025, we're seeing a lot of expansion. I live down east near the Russell, Embrun, Limoges
Yeah.
area. We're seeing a lot of commercial coming into the area.
Okay.
It seems to be pouring in.
Oh yeah.
So what's the commercial scene that you're seeing just in the whole Ottawa region in general?
Well, there's
It's-
a big push towards the east, and the reason for that is because they have lower prices. You could buy a duplex in Hawkesbury right now for 270,000, and you're still cash flowing.
That's it.
You're bringing in money, you're paying your mortgage, and you're leaving with a positive cash flow. To do that inside of Ottawa right now is very difficult. It's very difficult to buy something and to be cash flow positive right from the get-go. So I encourage a lot of investors to open their eyes to the east. There's a big development coming in Rockland. They've got 4,000 properties going there.
Wow.
There's 100 homes going in Alfred. There's a development up for sale right now in Plantagenet. That's probably 400 units. And the families that are coming to Ottawa from the outside, they have no attachment to Barhaven or Nepean or Orleans. They don't really care. They're going to go and buy where it makes more sense
Yeah,
for them.
where it's more affordable
Yeah.
for sure.
So small towns like Wendover, Plantagenet, Alfred, even to the limit Lorignal, Hawkesbury. Then you're starting to fall into a different type of buyer where one of the family members might be working in Montreal and the other in Ottawa. I have a property in Lorignal, and a lot of my tenants, one of them works in Montreal, one of them works in Ottawa.
Okay, so it's a just middle.
So it's like 45 minutes, 50 minutes the other way.
That's it.
and
That's it.
It's right in the middle. So
Middle
you're,
for the family.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's very nice to see all that expansion coming east because we've seen it in the West End quite a lot. And,
Oh, yes.
it's almost kind of saturated in the West
Yeah.
End. Every time I go that side, the traffic that you get
It's
stuck in,
crazy.
the amount of commercial that's there feels a bit kind of overwhelming. Being someone that comes from the north, east feels a bit more familiar.
Well, the West had the advantage of having a lot of the big employers like Nortel. Do you remember Nortel?
No.
No, so it was a big employer in Canada. Now you got D&D that's out there, National Defense. So there's lots of jobs that are pushed out that way.
Okay.
But that's going to come back to the east, right? So that's the advantage for the next 10 years. The way I was talking about Ottawa being an underpriced market, 10 years ago, I'm saying that right now about Eastern Ottawa.
Okay.
So anything that's in that Prescott Russell from Hawkesbury to Cumberland,
It's a great area.
it's a great area.
That's it. And with all that commercial that's making its way, I guess it also brings a lot of jobs. So
Of course.
that's good. With the housing, we're going to need some closer jobs
Yeah.
than rather needing to go all the way to Ottawa for some people.
Amazon put up a big warehouse, 1 million square foot
Yes.
warehouse in Vars.
It's a big warehouse.
Ford Motor Company, they've got a parts warehouse in Castleman. That brings a lot of jobs to the east.
That's
right?
it.
Ivaco in Lorignal, they're big employers. That's good.
Are you familiar with the short-term rentals and where do you see them right now post bylaws?
I mean, again, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but all those laws about short-term rentals, they're way stricter inside the city limits, right? So Ottawa will only allow you to do a short-term rental if it's your primary residence and you're not using it for a determined amount of time. There's nothing like that right now in the East. So you can buy in the East and do very well with your short-term
That's
rental.
it. It's in the big centers. As I've been seeing, I'm shopping actually with someone. They're looking along the Ottawa River in the Cumberland Estates, kind of Rockland area along the water to do an Airbnb. We're just looking for the right property, and yeah, that's it. The bylaws are not impacting it, so
No.
that's a very
And the
interesting opportunity.
demand is very high. I've had a few clients go the short-term rental route, and their unit that they could be renting out for 1,400, they're getting about $6,000 a month
There we go.
on
That's
it.
it.
People get afraid of it because they're like, oh, the turnover, I'm gonna go have and change sheets. But the way that short-term rental companies work is that there's a cleaning fee whenever you book, right? And if you can get a cleaning service to go in and do the turnover of your unit, if their fee is $50 for the turnover, then you just add it to your short-term
You can have
rental.
it covered.
And then that person goes, does the cleaning, does the reset, and then the only thing that you're doing is you're managing communication
That's it.
between the tenant and yourself. And then some people, once they get big enough, they outsource that also.
It can be a very, very lucrative opportunity.
Of
I have
course.
someone in the Limoges area, which I initially met. She's very genius. So she owns a townhouse in Limoges,
Yeah.
and Limoges is where Calypso is, which is a big water park. And she rents out her townhouse just for the summer months
Yeah.
and goes to live in the basement of her friend's house
Yeah.
during those summer months. And like you said, it's about $6,000 a month that
That's what
she's
she's doing.
making
Yeah.
for a window of 4 months.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a very, very lucrative opportunity that can help you put a lump sum on your property. And like you said,
It probably pays her mortgage for the year, right?
that's it. That's it. Exactly. So she's very business oriented. So there's a lot of ingenious things you can do, especially in the areas that you're not impacted by bylaws.
Yeah, and we've got one property right now in Wendover where it's sitting vacant right now. It needs some major repairs, and we're sort of leaning towards doing a short-term rental build out with it. So a one bedroom with a small crib for babies. So we're going to attract young families
Okay.
with one kid,
Yeah.
not a 2 or 3 bedroom unit where it attracts a lot of party people.
Yes.
So that's something I want to stay away from.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of people rent out party homes and they do great with it, but I don't think that's something that interests me.
No, and that's it. And there's some people that are just looking. There's always demand for that.
Yeah.
They're just looking to disconnect. They
Yeah.
want to go where there's actually greenery, there's some trees, or you're along the water.
That's what
it's
we
just
do.
to disconnect. We're living a big online life today,
Yeah.
and some people just need to
My girl.
cling back onto the nature.
Marie-Pierre and I, we've been traveling on Airbnb for 8 years. Like,
Yeah.
we've traveled Europe, the United States, the Caribbeans, and we prefer going to an Airbnb.
It actually gives you a home base to kind of go back
Yeah.
into when you're
And
vacationing.
we love to cook, right? Like I shared with you at the beginning, like I love having a kitchen. You don't need to go out every single night that you're there. You're paying a bit less for the accommodation. You've got the kitchen. You can go buy some groceries, make a nice home cooked meal, and then you're not like spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on dining out every single night.
That's it. That's it.
So as a tenant for short-term rentals, it makes sense also.
So let me hit you with the dream scenario.
Yeah.
If I had $800,000 as a check, I write it to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Where do you invest that money?
For me, I have a feeling it's going to be different than you. It would be essentially precious metals and real estate. That's where I would put my money right now. And that's where I'm putting my money right now.
That's it.
I look at the gold prices and I look also at the silver prices, and I think that they are undervalued at the moment. I think silver is up 130% this year.
Yes,
And,
it bumped up quite a lot.
It bumped up quite a lot. And I still think that it's priced.
I think it has some ways to go for sure. There's constant demand to build electronics and whatnot, but okay, but it's also a limited supply, and that's
Yes,
the attraction because
that's
we've seen a lot of inflation in the last few years,
definitely.
and I feel like you're right. The price needs to catch up to the inflation that we've seen
Yes.
in the last few years.
And once people get sort of worried with fiat currency, they're going to go to tangible assets. Two of those most tangible assets are gold, silver, precious metals, and also real estate. People will always need a place to live, right? And gold and silver, they're not making any more of it,
That's it.
right? So that's where I would put my money. But I would recommend investors that are looking to real estate to have their northern star, their guiding star, be positive cash flow. Don't buy for speculation. Don't say, oh, this is underpriced. It's going to be worth, 20, 30% more in the next 2 years. I'd caution against that. I would say have your primary decision maker being that you're going to be cash flow positive from day one, right?
Yes.
Because if you're positive cash flow from day one, then you're never stressed out to make a move, right?
That's a good advice because if you do a wrong bet and you're convicted that this place is gonna go
Yeah.
up and I don't know some development, there's an X on that or some expansion that's supposed to come, some speculation, and
Yeah.
it doesn't actually appreciate, that's a hard bet to recover from.
Because I've seen those, I guess they're real estate agents. They would say, "Oh, well, you buy this condo, you're going to be dishing out $180 a month. It's going to cover all of your mortgage, your taxes, insurance, and you're going to need to pay $180 a month to float it. But don't worry, in 2-3 years, the place will go from 400 to 550." It's like, but you don't know that.
Yeah, are you sure about that?
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, why not buy a place where it's like, okay, you're going to be paying all your mortgage, you're going to be making $400, $500 positive cash flow every single month. If the market sort of goes down, no problem. You're sitting in a cash flow positive situation. And that goes back to, not over leveraging yourself and making sure that, the cash flow at the end of every month is positively balanced.
That's it.
So
Exactly.
that would
So
be,
talking about investing, I
yeah.
wanted to bring it to the fourth segment where I named it Realtor as a Trojan horse to be able to
Okay.
invest.
Okay.
So we see many realtors talking about taking the investor's path.
Mhm.
Why is being a realtor such a good career in to be able to invest in placements like that?
Well, you get to be there at the dining room table when people are making decisions to sell their, 10-unit apartment building, 15-unit apartment building. You essentially get first dibs, right?
You're seeing opportunities that are not yet on market.
With great power comes great responsibility. I think that you should always be upfront and honest with people and say, hey, I think your place is worth 1.4. I know you, as a realtor, you want to buy it for $600,000, but I mean, you have to be upfront with people and say, this is what I think it's worth, right? And I've had some people that would surprise me and say, well, I don't really want that much. I'd be happy to let it go for X. And then as a realtor, you have the opportunity to say, well, if that's the case,
You've
then
jumped on those opportunities in the past.
I would not at the dining room table. I said, well, let's still go to market.
Okay.
Let's still go and offer it to the general public
Yeah.
because your responsibility is to get the highest and best use for all of your clients' properties. But sometimes you'll get those distress calls, it's like, I need to make this property move, and then you've got an opportunity to be the quarterback, whether you take on that deal yourself but I mean, you always have to do what's best for your client. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We got to keep the best interest in mind of each of our clients.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. But unfortunately, we're in a market right now where some people are like, hey, I need this place gone like next week. Like, I need a quick closing and I need to get it gone. So,
Yeah.
so for the investor, that makes a lot of sense, right? And being connected, like you're in an office with 120 agents that have opportunities, right? And they might be having those conversations and they might not be interested in buying it, but they'll say, hey, I've got this townhouse. Like the last sale was $550. They'll take $490 for it right now. It's like, okay, well, you've got those
I'll
opportunities.
consider it. That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. We got a lot of business people at this office here, and the amount of conversations that I didn't think I would have that I've had is surprising.
And conversations like this, right?
For sure.
Two investors talking. It's like, what do you think about this?
That's
We
it.
should do a seminar.
We need to bounce
Yeah.
ideas off of each other
Yeah.
and build something great.
So that would be the biggest advantage, is that you get access to a lot more deals.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Very true. So let's motivate the next generation now.
Okay.
How do you raise ambitious youth in a world that wants them soft?
Well, I think that the primary factor is ambition, right? So if they've got ambition, they're already halfway there, right? And you just have to teach them that it is possible, right? There's a lot of negativity in today's world, and you sort of have to let them know, hey, look at this guy. He did it this way, and look at this girl. She's doing it this way. And you got to show them the pathway. Now, once you've shown them the pathway, you have to motivate them by talking about what they want for the future, right? Most successful agents that I've coached in the past, they have a clear, definite purpose. I want to buy my first property in the next 12 months. I want to retire my parents.
Yes.
I want to buy my first investment property. The guy or girl that comes in here is like, I don't know, I'm going to make as much money as possible. And okay, how much is that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
You need a concrete goal. You need something to aspire to, something that's directing you in the right direction.
and it sounds so simple, but most agents, unfortunately, they don't set a proper goal for themselves, right? It needs to be attainable, but a little bit higher, that it starts to scare you, that you will maybe fail. And that will give you the drive to go towards that goal. And I would encourage you to check in on your goals every month. Just say, oh, okay, what's going on here? What have you been doing? Are you achieving your goal? If you're not achieving your goal, what could we switch? And don't wait till December. Don't wait till January.
No, that's it. You got to track your metrics month by month and actually analyze, are we actually on the right trajectory here?
Yeah.
If not, I got to tap myself into place and
Yeah.
and keep getting feedback from your peers as well.
Yes.
But another thing, listen to the Asset Ambitions podcast. This is the goal of the podcast.
Of course.
I want to motivate the youth out there. I want to motivate the young entrepreneurs. The Asset Ambitions podcast is here to help you strive. We're getting great guests like Martin here. And thank you very much for coming on, Martin.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the lightning round. I'm going to hit you with some questions. If you can answer just in one sentence, just one phrase. So I got 5 questions for you here. What's your thoughts on the Ottawa real estate market in 2030?
In 2030, in 5 years.
Yes.
I think we're going to see a steady climb, nothing crazy. I think it's back to 2019 feeling, where we're going to see a steady increase of 2 to 3% per year. If you're looking for that big volatility, it's probably not the market for you, but back to normal, because we just got through those COVID years that were absolute insanity.
Yeah, that was hectic.
We've fallen off from the peak quite a bit. So, the average price is a bit down. But I think that we've stabilized ourselves back to normal, and we're going to see a normal increase year over year.
That's what we like to see, a balanced market. That's what we like to see. We want opportunities for everybody.
That's what I loved about our market before COVID. Steady.
That's it.
Steady.
That's it. It's
steady.
predictable. It does what it has to do.
I didn't like representing buyers when there was 25.
Yeah, that must have been hard. I didn't have my license yet.
What time did you get licensed?
I got it in 2023.
Okay, yeah, so you're just at the tail end of that.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So the Canadian housing bubble, is that real or is that fiat fiction?
For some markets, it definitely is, right? When you're paying like $800,000 for a dog crate condo in Toronto,
Yeah.
you've got a lot of speculation there, and people were buying these new build properties with the intention of flipping them for a quick profit of $150,000. And I'm often talking about Toronto and Vancouver, but it's happened here too. Like, I've had some investors call me up and say, "Hey, I've bought 3 properties at this builder and picked it up for X price, and they're telling me it's going to be worth this much in a year or two." They close on the property, and it's like, "Okay, how much can we sell it for?" Well, actually, less than what you paid for it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
sorry, that's speculation, right?
That's it.
And that's dangerous. Yeah.
Okay, let's keep them
But
lightning.
we're no longer in a bubble
No, that's
in
it.
this market,
No, that's it. We saw the bubble when the interest rates were on the ground.
of
People
course.
were able to borrow money like it was no tomorrow. That was a very risky path. I understand they wanted to stimulate the economy, but closing down businesses and printing money doesn't do the
No.
best culmination, in my opinion.
And I think the real estate bubble, it has popped. And like it's already coming
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
Like it's
we're on the downtrend at the moment,
Yeah.
and that's a great opportunity for buyers at the moment.
Oh yeah, I
That's
think
great.
so.
It's
Yeah,
great timing.
for sure.
Yeah. So one asset that you're secretly investing in right now, big time.
We talked about it. Gold and silver.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard assets, right?
Yeah.
We want hard assets that took a lot of time to extract from the ground.
Yes.
Stuff that was put in there by God. We want assets that cannot be inflated by politicians.
Yeah.
We love that.
And there's certain materials that can be created, like diamonds. They make them in a lab, right? But silver and gold, you can't reproduce it
That's
in a
right.
lab. So what's in the ground is in the ground.
That's it.
They could always find new deposits and stuff like that, but I mean it's going to be a limited supply. So
That's it.
for me, that's and also real estate, but that's not so secret.
Yeah, we're on the same page
Yeah.
here. So the best purchase under $500 that really propulsed your career.
Oh man, a CRM that you enjoy working with.
Yes.
There's a lot of CRM systems out there. Follow Up Boss, KV Core, Bold Leads, Top Producer. For me, the Buffini system, the referral maker, that really resonated with me. It's simple. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but you log in and you see, okay, these are my 25 A+ clients. What can I do with these people this month?
That's it.
And then for me, that's the only CRM that really grabbed my attention. And don't worry about the time. we're good. The CRM that you will use is probably your biggest purchase that you can make under $500.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. CRMs, for you watching that might not know, is where we kind of compile all of our contacts, and it gives us, follow-up reminders. It recommends us touch points that we could do with our clients to keep them active.
I think it stands for Contact Relationship Management.
That I think, yeah, that's it.
I think
Exactly.
that's what it
So it's, it's a software, and there's some that are best for referral based. There's some that are best for just reminders. There's some that are best for automation. So you got to find the one that really speaks to you because it's your most useful tool,
Yes.
really.
A shout out to Follow Up Boss also.
Yes.
That's another
That
one.
one's a good platform.
Yes.
For
and
sure.
The AI integration, pretty freaking amazing.
It's smooth.
Yeah, like you'll get a lead that will inquire on your property, and then you'll see the lead come in your follow-up boss, and they're like, would you like me to prepare a follow-up with this client? Then it will generate the follow-up email.
Specific to the property that they've inquired about.
Specific to
Automating the whole text. You can change some words,
Yeah.
of course, and make it yours. But
Definitely.
that really helps us get more time in our days.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
AI is not there to replace you. It's there to help you be more productive.
Yes,
right?
sir.
So don't lean on it too hard, but don't discount it either. I was in the camp of I'm never going to use it, but now I find myself integrating it a bit more.
That's it. It's a tool. It's a
Yeah.
tool. It's a very good tool.
Oh yes.
So which do you think is more important? We've talked about it a little bit earlier. More positive thinking or less negative thinking?
Oh geez, it's a balance, man. It really is a balance. But I think that to start out the day, like you have to be positive thinking, right?
That's it. You're someone that's very optimistic, and
Yeah.
you can see it. You never give up, right? It
Yeah.
does help, and I'm someone very optimistic myself as well. But I can see when the negative thoughts come about, if the market is down, if you're dry on clients, then the negative thoughts can come about, and that's where you need to.
On that
keep
subject,
optimistic.
I do like to keep a paper, I guess you would call it a schedule, and it's a daily reminder. And I've got a few of these that are filled out, and I'll show you what I put in there. It's start off your day with talking about your big goals. What are the 3 things that you would like to achieve today? What are the 3 things that you are grateful for today, right? And I won't say that I'm the best student at doing stuff like this, but about 70% of the time I'll wake up and I'll do my diary. And if you start off with what you want to achieve and what you're grateful for, you've already primed yourself for success.
With that positive mind state.
Yes, you're already working towards something positive, right?
That's it.
I've built a system like this for realtors. It's called Your Daily Planner for real estate agents. And I offer a free PDF. You can print it out, and it's a recto verso, a 2-sided printout, and you can have it in your own agenda. And you start off the day like, who are the 3 clients I need to connect with today? What are you focusing on today as a real estate agent? Is it lead generation, lead follow-up, going on appointments, negotiating contracts, or working on your skills? Those are the only $5 producing activities that you can do as a real estate agent. And then there's another section, which is I'm working on my family or working on myself outside of real estate.
That's it. You need time for that as well.
You need time for that. But
sure.
if you're not working on any one of those 5 activities that I just mentioned, then you're not moving the ball forward as a real estate agent. So just that primer at the start of the day saying, okay, I'm either working on lead follow-up or lead gen, negotiating contracts. Working on your logo won't do you any good.
Yeah.
Right? Going on Facebook and looking at everybody else's posts and then replying and then getting into some political argument,
like comparing yourself to other realtors out there,
that won't move the ball forward. It won't lead you. So going out there, and the daily planner that I offer is completely free if anybody wants it.
Yeah, I've used it myself, actually. It was a great resource when I was starting.
Yeah. So I find myself not using it some days. And those days don't go as well as the days that I use it.
That's right.
So I should be
you need an organization for sure to be
definitely
productive.
When I'm on the ball and I'm doing my daily planning and stuff like that, like things go really, really well.
That's when you crawl uphill.
Oh, of course.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So let's move on to the 2 signature questions of the podcast.
Okay.
If you could go back, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Aim higher.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
That's lovely. You got to keep your sights high.
Yes.
Everything is attainable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aim higher. Choose your friends wisely. I was sort of looking around my buddies and I was saying, well, this guy's making this much and I'm making a bit more than that. And it's like, okay. And then eventually I upgraded friends. That sounds so bad to say. That sounds really bad.
You change your circles, right? You got to surround yourself with the people you want to become like. You don't want to stagnate and perhaps remain with circles that you're seeing stagnate.
It's just you can't keep negative people around you too long.
Yes.
Right? And they might be great people, but if they're always like,
it's an energy draw nonstop.
Woe is me and nothing will happen. And I try to help as much as possible, but I find that, surrounding yourself with like personal development people and people that want to make things happen, like that stuff will really help you out in the long run.
Yes.
Right? So, choose your friends wisely. You're the average of your 5 closest friends.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
And finally, what is your most prized asset?
Prized asset? Just the real estate that I own, I guess. Yeah. I can't think of anything cute to say.
That's it. You got a pretty good portfolio. You got a good base there.
And my family is the most important, right?
For sure.
I wouldn't call them an asset, but that's my priority. That's the reason why I do everything, is to provide for the family. I don't get too attached to the assets. They're sort of a means to an end.
Yeah.
But I find that real estate is probably the best way to generate wealth, generate cash flow. So that would be it. Yeah.
Yes.
We've talked a lot about gold and silver, but those aren't really income producing assets. They're sort of a hedge.
Yeah, that's it. It's a shelter.
It's a shelter.
Yeah.
It's a protection for your wealth.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But if you want to generate some, you got to find a way to cash flow.
You got to find a way to cash flow.
Yeah.
And then there's businesses that you can start up here and there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing advice.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming on, Martin.
Yes, my
As I
pleasure.
mentioned earlier, thanks for watching the Asset Ambitions podcast. This is the most ambitious podcast out there. We're trying to become the biggest podcast here in the Eastern Ontario region. Ontario one day, Canada one day.
There you
Thanks
go.
for watching. Have a good rest of your day.